Hey, what's up? It's Jake from Nivus DevOps, and this is part 3 of Kubernetes the hard way. So, if you put your SSH key into your code, your public key, mind you, when you did your OpenTofu deployment or provisioning of your Proxmox infrastructure, then this step is halfway already done. First thing you need to do is you need to get an SSH key on all the different systems so that you can SSH into each virtual machine from your jump box. Next, you need to modify the hosts file on each machine so that you have hostname.kubernetes.local and then the short hostname that resolved to the IP address. This is like our poor man's DNS. So we can test this by saying SSH root at jump box, and I should be able to get into the jump box, and I can. We can SSH into the server. That works just fine. We want to SSH into node 0. That works too. And we also want to SSH into node 1. And that works as well. This is all from my PC. I'm not actually on the jump box. There's not really any point in having a jump box for me right now, but let's go ahead and go check all this on the jump box as well. Now, before I can use these friendly names, we need the host file. vi etc hosts. And as you can see here, I've already edited this host file to show you what it's supposed to look like. So you should have all the IPs of your nodes with the fully qualified domain name and the short host name. Now I'm going to copy this because I'm going to use it on my other systems. So first we want to SSH as root to the server. We're in server, let's vi etc hosts, and let's add our IP addresses, fully qualified domain names, and host names. And we'll exit out of here. And from the jump box, let's SSH as root to node 0. We're in node 0. Let's vi etc hosts, and we'll edit our host file. Looks good. Exit. Let's go to node 1. Let's vi our host file. Looks good. And there we go. So now I have SSH keys on all my systems, and I can get to all of them from both my PC and my jump box. I also have an etc host file that has all of the systems listed by fully qualified domain name and just by short friendly host name. So I can SSH as root to server or node 0 or node 1 or jump box, and it all works just fine. This is why you put your SSH key in your provisioning, because it just makes life so much easier when you need to set everything up. If we go back and take a look at the compute resources markdown file from Kubernetes hardware documentation, it talks about using a machine database. So if you are following along and reading this, it essentially uses a text file as a machine database and then runs a bunch of scripts on this based on this very specific schema. And we just skipped all that altogether and just did this with a combination of OpenTofu and just doing some host file editing. If you're on a Mac or a Linux machine, you can use Ansible to go ahead and update all your nodes as well. My WSL for Windows is completely busted right now because I have a Docker problem. So I do not count that as reliable, and I would love to have a Mac right now. So if somebody wants to send me a Mac laptop, I'll give you my address. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much the whole thing for step 3. It's just setting up SSH keys and your host file. So if you have any questions, let me know. But if not, my name is Jake with Nivus DevOps, and this is my home lab with Kubernetes.